Now it is time for Trump Watch. Former President Donald Trump said in an interview that his health was the only thing that could beat him in the 2024 presidential election. Trump has dropped multiple hints that he is planning to run for a second stint in the White House, but suggested that he could end up settling to watch the political battle play out among his rivals for the Republican nomination. Or could all of this be simple mind games aimed at a late bid to become the president yet again? Well, I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the host of the Politics People podcast, Paul Duddridge. Paul, really good to see you. Happy Easter Monday. It's Easter Monday, Monday, isn't it? So, Paul, what do you think?
It's Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday, isn't it? Do you think Trump could return back into the whole political arena? Do you think that's where he's heading?
If he lives, he runs. It's as simple as that. You can take that to the bank. If Trump is alive, he is running in 24. The reason he has to play cat and mouse with all these kind of veiled announcements is that the minute he actually formally declares, every single dollar that he receives from that point on is treated by the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, as if it's a campaign donation. And so that there are rules controlling, and that's why. But it suits him to play this kind of long game. Will he? Won't he? And I just think he's such quality, sort of putting things out there, going, I don't know, my health could be health. It could be health related, you know. So everybody now, all the Trump haters are like, oh, he's sick. He's letting us know he's sick. It's like, no. If he's alive, he's running. Okay. Yeah. A billion %. I don't have much, but I will bet that. But yeah, he just enjoys being the center of attention, basically, and we're quite rightly talking about it because he is the only game in town. What's disappointing is a lot of go on, sorry.
Well, we saw Joe Biden's performance. That oh my goodness, the when he sort of went to shake the invisible person and then turned to the back of the wall and everything. What have they been saying in America about that?
Well, it's been Easter weekend, obviously, so there's been a lot of time for people to have their head in their hands, just saying, this is our leader. We're at the brink of World War III, and our leader, basically, it looked like when they had the Easter Bunny at the egg roll, that President Biden thought that it was a remake of Harvey, and it was one of his invisible imagined rabbits. No, people are not. I can't find Democrats who will admit that they voted for Biden. Oh, I tell you, the independents got so many votes because people go, yeah, well, I wouldn't vote for Trump, so I voted independent. It's just like, that's not what you said the day after. You said you voted Biden. Nobody acknowledges voting for Biden now except Rob Reiner on Twitter. That's about it.
He's going to do that. We're watching him do
Look at him. He's gold.
We're watching him do the imaginary handshake now, and he's now facing to the American flag and just sort of staring there. Then he's gone to stare back to the right, and then he's suddenly decided to come off the stage. I mean, it's just so embarrassing.
Do you remember when George Bush Jr. couldn't find the door handle? That clip ran on every news show for years as like evidence that the Republicans are morons. It's like this one. If it wasn't for the good people at GBNews, that clip you just played then would have been consigned to the archives. There is such a rigged game in the media where they won't put the same spotlight on Biden as they did on Trump. But it's fine. It's all playing out. Look, the public know what's going on. The mood here is that Biden's an embarrassment. I'll tell you what's the more worrying thing from somebody on my extreme side is that there are forces within the Democratic Party that are the DNC that are seeking to oust Biden. And that's the thing. He's a seat warmer for the Hillary comeback. And so a lot of the stuff where we're kind of, oh God, isn't he ridiculous? Isn't this just like embarrassing, this president? It's like, it's not just us saying it. It is the DNC themselves now are moving behind the scenes to gently move him to one side and to the Twilight home for the permanently bewildered, and then have him replaced by somebody a bit more on message.
So, Paul, I want to ask you about this whole Elon Musk, because he's talking about potentially buying Twitter, and the board are trying to do things so that it makes it almost impossible for him to do that. What's your view? Do you think he'll be successful? And if he does go forward, do you think he'll let Trump back on?
Yes, I think he'll be successful. I think that the Twitter board. I saw a statistic the other day. I think the Twitter board only have like 1 or 2% between them of stock. And already, Musk has got 9%. So they're not speaking. Their job is to speak for the shareholders, and they don't represent the shareholders because they've only got 1 or 2% of the stock. So I think eventually there will be a lot of obstacles put in his way, but he will eventually buy Twitter. I think he can actually do that. What the revelation is that Trump is saying that even if he does buy Twitter and Trump is allowed back on, Trump is saying that he probably won't rejoin. And that's because he now has his own social media platform, Truth Social, which I don't think you can get in the UK yet. Is that right? Can you sign up?
No, we haven't got it. So it's up and running in America at the moment. Truth Social is...
It's up and running.
Yeah.
It's up and running in America. It is not really, to be fair, it is not setting the world on fire. It's, you've got the other options, things like Getter and Gab. Getter really made hay when Trump was thrown off, a sitting president was thrown off Twitter, if I can even believe that happened. So Getter made a lot of inroads. But again, I think the play is that Trump knows his value. He's got 80 million followers on Twitter. And he's a great businessman. He's not going to say like, yes, I'll rejoin Twitter. It's just like, no, I think the play would be, and the noise I'm getting is that he might offer Truth Social to be sold to any future Musk consortium. Yes.
Well, listen, Paul, we're running out of time, so it's always really great to talk to you. That's